Welcome back to MDTV Medical News Now. Next to hair transplants, rhinoplasty, or aesthetic surgery of the nose, is the most popular cosmetic procedure with men, and the leading procedure performed in this country on people 34 years old and younger. In fact, there are three distinct profiles of people who seek out rhinoplasties. The first are the teenagers who prefer to begin adult life with confidence in their appearance. Next are young adults in their mid-30s who have decided to treat themselves with something they've desired most of their lives. And finally, we have the over 50 crowd. These people may have had great-looking noses their whole lives, but are living proof that the nose seems to change with time, and they wish to regain what they once had. When rhinoplasty was introduced, the trend was for the signature nose. Providing the ideal nose, however, proved a difficult task to reproduce over and over again. Over the years, plastic surgeons gained tremendous experience. Rather than placing some form of the ideal cookie-cutter nose on everyone's face, the trend now is to provide the proper nose in harmony with the individual patient's face, the right nose for your face, rather than giving you someone else's. We're speaking with board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Zachary Gerut, who has a personal approach to rhinoplasties. Dr. Gerut, what is important to you and your patients who are seeking out these rhinoplasties?
Well, what's important to me in dealing with a patient before surgery of rhinoplasty is to be sure that attention is paid to both form and function. The nose should function properly after surgery, and the appearance of the nose should be what fits the patient's face, and usually that's exactly on the money with what the patient wants it to look like. My idea of a good-looking nose after surgery is, according to my best quotation I can come up with, like a good toupee. People say, I've never seen a good toupee, and that's true. You don't see the good ones. Anybody who's had a good rhinoplasty, no one can tell, because it fits the face naturally.
Excellent point. Let's meet two people who wanted to improve their look with the help of Dr. Gerut by getting a nose that matched their face perfectly.
Meet George Trasusi and Carly Tishner. Both had their noses done, but for different reasons. George's motivation was primarily health-related,
The basic procedure was to fix a deviated septum.
while Carly had a more personal reason.
Ever since I was little, let's say around 10 or 11, I've always wanted one. I'd look in the mirror and I just wouldn't be happy with my appearance.
Dr. Gerut's individualistic approach and his use of photographs appealed to George and Carly.
I went to Dr. Gerut's office and he had the pictures, and this was the most exciting part because he draws on the picture of your nose in black marker to the exact nose that you're going to have. It's amazing how he gets it so precise.
He never pressured me to take the next step whenever I wanted to speak with him about doing it or making the decision. He made himself available. He and his staff were very, very accessible and very helpful.
And how do they feel about their new look?
This is exactly what I wanted it to look like. And I'm really happy with the results.
I love it. It's my favorite thing. I'm so happy with it.
You know, that's pretty impressive. I see what you mean about having the right nose for the right person. It's really important.
It is.
Oftentimes you hear that maybe somebody wants to change their nose, but for a reason that would make it larger. Is that possible?
Oh, it's absolutely possible. There are many times when a portion of the nose should be made larger or the entire nose made larger. It can sometimes happen because patients have had surgery, and unfortunately the surgery was designed to remove more perhaps than should be removed, in which case the nose must be built up. Secondly, there are the instances where, because of a patient's ethnic origin, it is desirable for the patient to have a different looking nose, and therefore material must be added to make the nose either more well-defined, or whatever adverbs or adjectives you wish to use, but more definition to the nose rather than flat against the face.
Now, whether you're taking away or adding to, does it ever affect the breathing through the nose?
Well, I always tell patients that it's impossible to take the roof of a house and make the top and the side smaller and have as much storage room in the attic as you did before. Breathing through the nose can be looked at in a similar fashion, although most of the breathing is done through the nose low down rather than high up, where you do remove a bump. Nevertheless, breathing can be affected by surgery, and I personally feel very strongly that the nose should function as well or better after my surgery compared to before. And a good deal of attention is paid to that. If we check around the world, every single animal that exists on the face of this earth and existed for the past millions of years had a nose. And if it weren't important, not every single animal would have one. Your nose does more for you than just allowing you to breathe through it and taste food. Your nose affects how well you sleep at night. It affects the efficiency of your heart and lung function. And anybody who is a runner knows that they cannot possibly run when their nose is stuffy. And that's why it's important.
Now, you're always hearing about new technologies and new devices and the latest, you name it. Does it matter if you're going to use something that's been around for a while, an older technique or a newer one? Is the latest always the greatest choice?
The most important thing to consider when a new technology is offered to you as a patient is whether or not it appears to be safe. The FDA usually takes care of that for us. But no, the newest isn't always the best. Certainly, many patients, when it comes to something that should be as conservative as surgery, would rather have a time-proven treatment rather than something that has been media-driven for people to think that, oh, it must be wonderful because the magazine or the news show said so. Companies that manufacture new medical devices spend quite a bit of money on public relations campaigns so that the consumer will seek that new treatment out. But that doesn't mean it's better. When patients say to me, I heard that this new laser treatment or any treatment will last for 25 years, I answer, that's interesting, we've only known about it for 2 years. So it's important to be sure that you're having something done that is at least somewhat proven to be effective, not just new.
Okay. Quickly, what should someone search for when looking for a plastic surgeon? It's
important that the surgeon be board certified in plastic surgery or in the field regarding that part of the body they're going to have surgery on. The dermatologists and ear, nose, and throat doctors are very often board certified to do the procedures that they do. It's important to check the doctor's credentials with a local hospital to be sure the doctor can perform that particular operation in the hospital as well as in his office. And it's important to get a good recommendation from a physician that you know and trust or from a friend that you know and trust.
What do you like most about your job?
I very much enjoy making people happy. Plastic surgery or cosmetic plastic surgery is one of the few fields where everybody who walks in the door has the potential to walk out better than when they came in. It's really a pleasure to do that for people. You can change their whole lives by giving them more self-confidence and certainly more of a better feeling about themselves.
Okay, great. We have to go to a break, but we'll be right back with more MDTV Medical News Now right after this.